Hello everyone! Today, I'm gonna show you how to fix the distributor on 1995 Honda Del Sol. The problem of these cars, there's no spark. So, let's get started.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me.
Okay, so first thing we're going to do is check for spark. So we'll pull out the spark plug lead and we'll stick the screwdriver in the end and we'll put it a millimeter away from the engine and then we'll try and start it. Check for spark.
There is no spark. Let's keep looking.
Go.
I've tested the ignition wires and they are good. So, let's check the distributor. So, let's remove the distributor cap.
And just run your hand in the inside. Show it to the camera. Yeah, good. And then put it down here. Okay, so the next step is to pull the rotor off. I will point out these rotors do tend to fuse on there. This one is actually a replacement rotor. The original one had to be chiseled off and removed, so this one slides off nicely. But if you do find the rotor is not coming off too easily, get the hammer and chisel out and just destroy the old one and replace it. Okay, this is your standard tester light. These are a valuable item. Cars have electrical stuff and you always want to have one of these. It's got the alligator clip on the end, which usually goes to ground, not always. We're going to hook that up to the ground on the motor there. That's pretty good. And then I want to check for spark from the coil. And to do that, you hold this nice and close. Okay, crank the engine. Okay, now what we should have had was we should have had spark jumping from here over to the spring. We didn't. So there's nothing coming out of that coil. From the spring, it goes inside the cap to in here, and then that distributes to here, which goes to the 4 spark plug contacts. You can see them there. And there's a certain firing order and stuff. Anyways, we're not getting any spark out of the coil right there, so the next job is going to be checking the igniter, and the igniter's down there, and we'll see how that works out. Okay, go. Screw. Perfect. Okay, So mine's going to point to an oil leak. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a lot of oil down there on the engine block. Yeah, that's a good example. I don't know if that's coming off of the distributor here. Probably not. Hard to say. The bottom line is, I think this is the original distributor. I don't think it's been out. There is an oil seal on the shaft on the distributor and an O-ring. I want to replace that. So we're going to pull out the distributor. We know the problem is the coil is bad, the igniter's good. We're going to replace both of them. This car is 25 years old. It's time just to freshen things up and make it reliable. I could just put a new coil in and call it a day, but I think it's time to do that oil seal on the shaft and also just throw a new igniter in. I'm using only Honda parts. Sorry, I'm a bit of a part snob on this. This car is driven by a young girl, and it's got to be reliable. So saving a few bucks here and there is not the goal. Making this thing very reliable for another 25 years is the goal. So we're going to pop out the distributor and replace the igniter, the coil, new distributor cap, of course. New rotor is already on there, so do a new rotor. New spark plugs. The old spark plugs look like they had done a lot of miles. They were the cheap end spark plugs. They were Honda spark plugs, which is nice to see. So this car is obviously dealer serviced, which is good. But yeah, we're just going to freshen it up. The spark plug wires are still good. I did check the resistance and they're fine. But we'll probably put some new plugs in when the budget, new spark plug wires when the budget permits. But right now it doesn't permit that because we're spending a bunch of money on the igniter and the coil. So.
It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Take out the distributor. There's 3 bolts, one here, one down here, and one on the back. And what you want to do is you want to put a little mark here and a mark here so you know where the distributor rotates for the alignment. It's critical that you do this because if it's off by a millimeter, your timing's going to be way off and the engine might not even run if you get it far enough off. So you want to do a little mark here and here before you take the distributor out. That way you can line up those 2 marks and get your timing more or less bang on. Saves you having to get a timing light out and playing with it. So I'll throw some marks on there. Mine's going to pull off the distributor. That and go boom. Hold the bottom on. That's right. Keep going like that. See? That loosens. Okay. There you go. I'll do that to the next one down here. You can do that to that one there. Same thing. Yeah, okay, good. And the last one over here. That's how you loosen tight bolts. You use power. Right? That's you probably hit something there. And go back up. No, you won't go any further because you've hit a wire there. So you go back up. That one's loosened. Yeah, that's loose? Okay. So now you can use your ratchet. Yeah, just come around and use your ratchet. Just keep pulling towards you. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Just keep pulling towards you. That seems a bit sticky, eh? There you go. Okay. That's good. So now, First part. This.
Okay.
And then you pull the O-ring off. Okay. So you know this O-ring is quite hard and it's quite flat. It's not round like this one. See the difference?
Yeah.
So, and this one's really soft, this one's hard. It's almost breaking. So slip that one back into place.
Okay.
Good. That's good, yeah. Okay, now put your 3 bolts back in. Remember, keep them in order. I don't know if you want to use the tool for that. You might want to use the tool. Okay, so this is the new igniter. It sits basically like that. There's 2 little screws underneath here that have to be undone, and then hopefully this thing will pull out. So mine's going to do the 2 screws. Okay, so take out the air cleaner so you have room for your longer screwdriver. Take out the air filter. And undo those 2 screws on the coil. Nice. Those are super short screws, so we have to be careful we don't drop them, otherwise. Oh, you guys all know what happens when you drop screws. You don't find them for an hour or 2. Okay, so we're going to pull the igniter out. Now there's 4 wires on the igniter. Okay?
Yeah. Take off now.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to pull off each of those wires and pull 1 wire off and put it on here. That's right.
Yeah, I lock it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that is okay. Okay. Here. Okay. Almost there.
Should just slide right out. Okay, where's the new one? Here's the new one. Yeah, it's easier to see, right? What? Rubber screwdriver.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Let's wipe them face it down. Yeah. Wiggle it on. Push it all the way. Yeah. Good. Let's.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I'll do first.
Okay. Yep.
like a bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see from up here. The world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful. You.
There you go. High five. Mission accomplished. Fix your first car. How does that feel?
I feel good. I really want to learn.
Well done.
I need to fix more.
Yeah, and it should run better now with all those new parts. Very nice.
Yay! Okay.